Oh, something happened. Did that work? Can you see me?
Yes.
Oh, finally it worked. I didn't think it would work.
How are you doing?
A lot better now. Now that I can see you, it's a lot better. Yeah, I just wanted to get in contact with you because I saw your channel and I noticed that you have a very similar way of doing things. I've been watching your videos all day and I've been seeing how you mentioned that you wanted to do your performance at America's Got Talent. You wanted to do it to open people's awareness to the possibility that they could do stuff. And I noticed you said that everybody had special heads, and I wanted to more get in depth as to how it is that you ended up doing that, or at least your main motivation and focus as to why it is you wanted to do that on America's Got Talent, basically.
Well, going on America's Got Talent for me was, I was a street performer making a living, and everybody was telling me to go on America's Got Talent, and my people told me not to go on the show because they're actually really harsh. They kind of treat performers poorly.
Right?
There's just a lot of things that they do to performers. The reason why I went on the show is because my grandparents really loved that show, and I knew that it would make them really happy. The reason why I'm a performer and why I'm not concerned with becoming rich as a performer is because I had a very unique upbringing, and I received spiritual guidance that I think other people can learn from and grow from in a positive way. Not trying to put myself above anybody or put myself on a higher spiritual level, but I had a very unique upbringing, and I want to use my performances to one, people will want to learn from me, want to know what makes me tick, and I'll be able to explain to them what I learned growing up as a kid, and also want to bring people together and bring people's awareness about that world peace is possible.
Okay. That is literally everything that I do on my channel. And I also teach people how it is that I did it, and I try to teach them the skills that I used. I tend to use astral projection as my skill, and I tend to get people to do that because I reckon by getting people out of their body, they could see how things actually are. And sometimes it can scare them. I can see how they think that off the media, off watching TV and stuff like that, like all the ghosts and all the negative stuff they see on TV. But I was just curious, how do you expect for your channel to grow in a way that will get other people seeing your message, or at least in that same ballpark when it comes to them wanting to grow spiritually, just by seeing you as an example?
Well, I think that a lot of the spiritual problems in the world are caused by spiritual or religious extremism.
Yeah.
A lot of the fighting in the world is caused by religious extremism, and I believe that there needs to be a spiritual revolution. Some of my videos are for fun, and honestly, the stuff that I did on America's Got Talent, one of my goals is to just to entertain people, to make people laugh, to make people happy. People come to a show, people tune into my channel, they just want to be entertained. They want to, escape from the problems in their world. But the thing about, okay, you're familiar with George Carlin?
No, I'm not.
The comedian George Carlin?
You're familiar with...
I think that comedy is one of the best ways to promote social messages or change people's minds socially, because if you come at them with a straightforward, okay, we need to change politics, we need to change society in these ways, and are very serious about it, it turns a lot more people off.
Mm.
Versus if you're able to use satire in a funny way, um, to in a way that entertains people, you're able to slip in a deeper message without making people feel like you just tried to change their minds.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. I don't try to enforce things upon people because they tend to like flip me the bird or tell me to look the other way. I tend to use situations they're already familiar with so that they can understand it from my level, and then they're more suggestible to listening to what I have to actually say. And then they can understand me from my level rather than them thinking I'm trying to impose something upon them that they don't actually need to listen to.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, oh, I created this thing. You can interpret it how you will. It's just like if you come at people like, I'm trying to change your opinion on the subject, people usually pull away and want to go to the other side on the issue.
Yeah.
Extremism tends to push people that are in the middle further to the other side. So I feel like it's almost easier, like if you have a political opinion and there's an opposing force, it's actually easier to persuade people by pretending to be your opposition and just making them look really bad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I know what you mean.
Like, I don't know. It's like if somebody's in the middle and you come at them from an opposite side, from an extreme point of view, it will push them further away from you. It will actually do more harm for your cause than good.
I've noticed that in my household actually with my family. I went raw vegan about 4 years ago. Well, not raw vegan. I'm trying to go fully raw, but it's difficult. And I started like promoting it to my family members, how healthy it is and how easier it is, and how lighter you feel and how much your weight you start clicking on. And then the more they saw me eating my foods, or the more they saw me try to tell them what their food was doing to them, the less they listened and the harder it got for them to change, and the more they started to like dive in deep with the foods that they were already eating. So they actually exploded and went a lot worse, like a lot bad, if you know what I mean. I tried to get them to do something better, and it made it really bad for them anyway.
And are you in the United Kingdom?
Yeah, I'm in London.
For some reason I thought you were in London. I was trying to figure out where is this guy at.
You trying to play some accent?
Yeah, well, yeah. No, yeah, it's definitely an English accent. But yeah, no, it's I do a lot of different things. I do the music. I'm wanting to. The funny thing is, I'm looking at what YouTube channels are doing really well, and the ones that have the highest subscribers are these gaming channels.
Yeah, like PewDiePie.
And these channels where people just sit in front of the camera and talk. And it's because they're able to come out with a video once a day. And also, a lot of their hardcore fans are people that either play the video game a lot at the same time as them.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll be playing a video game and commenting on the video game. And then their fan will play that same video game and play the entire duration of the videos. Right? So a lot of the people that do these more entertaining videos where you're doing like a magic trick or a prank in public or a comedy video, or just you're setting up hidden cameras and you're pranking people. People that watch those videos are the ones that are just watching videos really quickly. They have a shorter attention span, so they click off the video faster. Versus the ones where the guys make longer videos where they're playing a video game or talking for a long time. Their subscribers watch their video for a lot longer period of time, and YouTube's algorithm is set up to promote your video, to push it up in the ranking based on how long people watch it for. So I'm going to start making more videos where I'm just talking about my beliefs, where I'm just talking about meditation or different things where it's just me sitting in front of the camera. And I strayed away from that for a while because I wanted to put a lot of effort into these videos I was making and, really do a good show, do a good performance. But people keep asking me questions. I just put out a video just today because everybody keeps asking me if I smoke marijuana, if I do drugs.
Yeah.
Or they tell me, oh, you make me feel better about smoking weed. And I'm like, I don't smoke weed, so I wanted to make this video where I tell people, hey, I don't smoke weed, guys. Like, this is what I think about marijuana.
Yeah, exactly. I do talk about drugs in one of my videos because a lot of people also thought that I did loads of drugs, mainly because the color of my skin. They expect loads of. They put me in boxes from the way that I look, maybe where I'm from. And I did a video on drugs saying how when it comes to psychedelics and spiritual drugs, you should only really do them once. Like the shamans, if they would do them, they'd do them once. And they would only do it so that they can deliberately put themselves in that conscious mindset afterwards, like without the drug. And then they can do it whenever they want over and over and over again. And when I posted that video, a lot of people resonated with it and got what I had to say. But a lot of people did blow up on my comments and say that I was wrong because they're so used to doing it over and over again. And doing it over and over again, it melts your brain. Because I've had friends who were really wired in school. We'd chat a lot, and then I'd watch them throughout their entire life, like as we were growing up, and then they would just start going slower and slower, and they'll start speaking slowly, they'll start to forget a lot of things. And it's like a talk to a different person completely. I mean, it's terrible. What do you think about like, psychedelics, though?
What?
What do you think about psychedelics, though? Like DMT or stuff like that?
I was raised. The first time I took any drug, my father took me camping, and he gave me peyote when I was 12 years old. So I went to teepee ceremonies with shaman when I was a teenager, when I was 12 and 13 years old, at a really young age. And yeah, I completely agree with you that when you abuse psychedelics, it fries your brain. And it's kind of like, I definitely think that some businessman that doesn't have any spiritual beliefs or is completely logical, doesn't believe in God, that they can go to Burning Man and take a psychedelic and have this spiritual experience and all of a sudden start believing in God. But it definitely, what it does is it crosses the wires in your brain, and over repeated use, it's like each time you use it, it alters your brain a little bit more. And people tend to be artists more often when they've taken psychedelics, like they tend to pursue art. And I do think that they can unlock creative inspiration. It can unlock creative inspiration and also make you a more interesting person. But it's also, there's a limit where if you do it, there's diminished returns to where you start to become a little bit more crazy each time you do it.
Yeah.
You know, and some people just lose their mind completely through abuse. I mean, any drug use, people that smoke crack or too much or do methamphetamine, you know, they go crazy. They lose part. It messes their brain up. You know, so I try to stay on a relatively sober path, a healthy path. I'm really happy that I stopped smoking weed, stopped smoking cigarettes. You know, I've been really pure for a while. I go to saunas, sweat lodges a lot, do a lot of, you know, still even the food that I eat in America isn't the best food. So, and I breathe in pollution in Los Angeles, and I like to detox. So, you know, that's my take. I kind of rebelled from my hippie parents.
Yeah. You know, my mum was a hippie too. She keeps telling me, she keeps showing me photos and everything of the 70s. Thinking of consciousness, I want to get into your head, like, because I saw you play as a special head, and you were saying on stage how everybody had special heads. Now, I'm really into consciousness. I'm really into observing the self and developing yourself, rather than taking the drugs and losing who you are and becoming crazy. I'd rather people just put all that stuff aside and go in themselves and become more of their own self, if you know what I mean, more of their own personality. That's what spirituality is for me. It's like personal growth. What would you class as spirituality? Like,
what would I what?
Class as spirituality. Like, what would you say spirituality actually was, in your view?
So when I said the thing about we all have special heads, so we can be masters of our universe, what I was basically alluding to is that, because we are human, we all have special heads. And this is a belief that I have that a lot of people, that a lot of my hippie friends disagree with. It's based on my upbringing as a Baha'i. I was raised in the Baha'i faith. And this is one of the teachings in Baha'i and many other religions, Basically, it says that because we are humans, we have the power of choice. Because we are intelligent, because we are intelligent enough to visualize a purpose greater than just sleeping, eating, and reproducing, that gives us the ability to envision a God, to envision a higher power, to envision an afterlife. And this is something that animals, their brains aren't capable of doing. The way I like this to view spirituality. So I basically believe that animals don't get to go on the grand adventure of reuniting back with the source. That animals are already at one in the equilibrium of the source of God. Like animals are created perfect in the way that they are. Humans, on the other hand, will never be content with our surroundings and if you look at the Bible, Adam and Eve ate from the tree of knowledge, and they were cast out of the Garden of Eden to toil endlessly in the wasteland. So to me, that's actually symbolism, metaphor for humans evolved intelligence. They evolved knowledge. And because of that, they were cast out of the Garden of Eden to toil endlessly in the desert. So that refers to, because we became intelligent, we lost the capacity to be content with the Garden of Eden. Then we envision everything like a desert, wasteland, to toil endlessly, to try to alter our surroundings to make it better suit us. So basically, God created us, maybe because God wanted to experience more, but I've envisioned our souls as like little pieces of God that were split off of God, that are going on this grand journey of trying to know God, to try to know our Creator, to try to reunite or get as close as possible to God. And of course, we'll never actually be able to fully know God. To know God in this lifetime would blind us and make us go crazy. If we were to know the next plane, if we would to go into the afterlife and see it in its fullness, we would want to kill ourselves when we came back. The quote that I tell people now when they accuse me of being a fake, a fraud, or whatever, because I'm a performer, I'm an entertainer, and I tell people, don't believe everything that you see on television. Don't get mad at me because I went on TV. I tell people the physical universe is the illusion, and the spiritual realm is what is real. And so we are these little spirits that are put into these physical bodies in the physical realm. And the physical realm is like unto the baby developing in the womb. The baby's growing these fingers, these eyes, nose, all these things that eventually get in the way of its existence in the womb. Eventually the baby has to be born. But the baby has no idea, the fetus has no idea what these are being developed for.
Yeah.
It doesn't understand why it's growing these things. But it definitely, when it's born, it becomes very apparent, oh, this is why I developed these things. Same is true for the spiritual qualities that we are growing in this world. We don't fully understand the implications of what they're used for in the spiritual realm. But if we don't grow fully to the capacity that we need to grow in this world, it's going to be like we're born handicapped into the next. So when we die, what we get to take with us is our love, our virtues, these qualities of the heart.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, and this is the only chance that we have. In the Baha'i faith, it says that it's very important that you pray for the dead, because praying for the dead, that's one of the only ways that the dead can progress in the next realm, or that the dead can grow their soul in the next realm. So it's kind of like, oh, the baby and the fetus, that was its chance to grow the fingers and nose and eyes that it needed for this world. If the baby was born blind, well, there's really nothing the doctors can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least. Same is true for the spiritual qualities. If you don't learn how to love in this world, you're going to be pretty hard up when you get to the spiritual world, or it's the spirit world.
Yeah.
So that was a long answer.
That is good. It was a good one. I mean,
obviously, love is the simple. If I was going to give you a one-word answer, I would say love, right?
Yeah, of course. I know what you're talking about when you're saying how everyone's like a piece of God, split apart from the main source. The way I look at it is, say when you go to sleep and you go to dream, right? You would create characters in your dream, or at least your consciousness would. And it would be completely done so deliberately so that your consciousness can experience itself. So your consciousness has to break up into loads of little pieces and play all these little characters and all these little casts in order to teach itself who it actually is. And then you start to become lucid in the dream. And then the dream becomes a lot more easier. Okay, so I reckon when it comes to this 3D place, it's pretty much the same thing. Because you have those moments where you look at somebody and you connect with them and it's like you're looking at yourself. It's like a reflection. And sometimes you can actually start like feeling what they're going to think, or at least how they behave. And if they feel upset, you can look at them and you just know they're upset. Well, it's kind of like the same thing in a dream. Dreams and this world are kind of very much similar in that sense. So I can see what you mean when you said that everyone's pieces of God. And it's good to hear that another person has that same perspective or that same angle. I like the way you explained it too, because that's very different. I haven't heard of it in the way that you did with the womb and everything. That was pretty cool. That's pretty neat.
Uh-huh.
And I know you said that you're a performer, so you get a lot of skeptics. You get a lot of people hassling you. I was watching one of your videos, and some woman was saying how you were wearing a mask, and she was getting really angry about it. And I was just thinking, why isn't she just happy that she just saw something that she doesn't normally see in her everyday life? Does that happen to you a lot?
I'm pretty used to it as a street performer. People there's no separation between the performer and the stage. So people feel like they have every right to interact with you however they want to. So being a street performer kind of taught me how to put up with it. I mean, she was not even that big of a deal. I don't know. I'm always dealing with people harassing me and bothering me. Honestly, if somebody's willing to come up to me in person and like talk shit to my face, I have a lot more respect for them than all of these trolls on YouTube that just send messages. Yeah, I'm just like, don't you guys like have something better to do than to just spread negativity on YouTube? The reason being that these people are hiding behind a computer screen. At least the person that says something to me in public, like they're confronting me and having a real human interaction with me. And I don't know. I'm just like, hey, I think that people get jealous when they see somebody else that's receiving a lot of attention. And so that's why they react in that sort of way. That's why somebody will give a performer a hard time, give a street performer a hard time, because they're jealous of that attention that they're getting.
You know where that comes from, though, don't you?
What?
It comes from their childhood.
The jealous?
Yeah, the jealousy. All the attention. Normally, I find that when people are annoyed with somebody who's got all the attention, it's because they lack the attention in their life. Maybe it's a lack of love. They wasn't loved enough when they were a child, or they wasn't loved enough by their friends, or they watched that guy in school who had all the attention, all the love from their friends and peers, and they didn't have that. And a lot of people, even if they forget the memories, they can grow up older and they can end up just reacting randomly, spontaneously to other people like yourself who are on the street doing your performance. Which gets me to your act, your levitation, or what you call balancing. You said you did that, you learned how to do that from a guy in Turkey, is that right?
I learned some meditation techniques from a guy in Turkey, that Turkey is where I started to be a human statue, and I was really I was traveling Turkey and Eastern Europe, but I really the levitation thing. To be honest with you, I taught myself how to do that. And although the human statue and the meditation part of it, that definitely helped lead. It led me up to what I call the yoga balance. So the guy in Turkey didn't actually teach me how to do that.
I've also
Hi.
Hi.
This is my friend. I'm in her room.
hello.
This is
Hi.
my friend.
You look
Jen.
very. Oh, you look-
Alex went to bed. He says good night.
Oh, okay.
He's waking up for Scorpion, but he went to take a nap.
To watch the show?
Yeah.
Or to meet the guy?
To watch the show.
Oh, he's going to sleep and then he's going to wake up to watch the
Yeah.
show.
So he told me to tell you he's going to bed. So if it's before Scorpion
Okay.
time, don't say bye or.
Okay. Cool.
Bye.
Are you leaving?
Yeah. Do you want to just turn? Oh, just make sure you
Okay.
turn the lights off. Then we can go back tonight.
Hey.
You can stay here if you want.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go home. I live right down the street.
Okie dokie. Bye. Nice to meet you.
See ya.
Nice to meet you.
Bye.
Yeah, I'm in this really cool house right now. I don't know if you saw the little video documentary of the Gemini Manor,
Oh, you're there.
the trippy house.
Yeah, I saw that documentary. I had to because it looks so different. I'm really attracted to different things, so I just went straight on that.
So, what do you do for a living in London?
In London, I teach people stuff. I teach people how to meditate, stuff like that. I tend to lean towards more psychology-based stuff. I try to get people to understand their own thoughts, stuff that's getting them in the way of success when it comes to whatever it is that they're trying to do. Because a lot of people tend to fail. They fail themselves. They think themselves into situations which make them very, how can I say, unsuccessful in anything that they want to do, period.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a skill, which is why I contacted you, because I saw you levitate, and I was thinking, is that real, or is he somehow balancing? And then I started seeing how you were like really holding on, and then you said it was a balancing act, right? Well, I have a skill too, but it's not a balancing act. Have you heard of astral projection or out of body experiences?
Yes.
Yeah, I can do that basically. And ever since, I've been able to do that my entire life. And I mentioned it on YouTube once. And some guy was saying how he would pay me $200 just for an hour of my time. And I was thinking, well, I don't want to... At the time, I had time to speak to him. At the time, I wasn't so busy. So it wasn't like... So basically, I did it for free, basically. I didn't want to charge him or anything. But then I love talking to people and making them do stuff like this because it makes them experience a world which is different compared to their normal life, like their job that they go to every morning and stuff like that. So what I did was I taught people how to do it, and that made me happy. And it made them happy too. And then I just basically did whatever made me happy, and it ended up turning into like a sort of consultation business where I started teaching loads of people how to do it. And then people were having success like within the first 3 days kind of thing. And then so far, I've made enough to live off. And it's just getting better.
Teaching people how to astral project?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice. That's really awesome.
And then now it's starting to lean towards psychology. People are asking for consultations if they have issues like anxiety issues, stuff like that, or relationship issues. And if I have the answers or if I've gone through it, then I'll help them out. And it's just turned like that. So I've just turned into a sort of consultant kind of thing, which is cool. But I'm on a mission to not only spread this around to people, to get them to wake up to things that are different, but I also want to gain as much as I can. I need to start traveling the world more and learning more like you did when you went to Turkey. I want to do that constantly and learn more and more skills and then teach it. So that's really where I'm going with this. And I did get in contact with you because I did want to put this on my channel to promote your channel and to help my viewers and my subscribers get a better understanding of the minds that go on within our minds. You know, people out there who are deemed as gurus and stuff like that, but really we're just normal people who just know a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, we just know a little bit more than most people, tiny bit. Not. You know,
well, here's what I have to say. Is everybody can be a teacher to somebody else. Everybody, like I saw this crazy homeless lady. She was losing her mind and she was pregnant. And it took my breath away. Like I tried to talk to her and she was like, "Shh, don't talk. don't talk. And she was really, I was like, oh my God, this woman is pregnant. I was like, what about this baby? Holy crap. She's like a street person in Hollywood. But even her, like, she has something to teach me. Like, that little interaction was an experience I had in my life. And spiritually, you never know how far along somebody is spiritually, because at the end of the day, at the end of it all, your judgment day really is going to be you judging yourself. And you're going to be shown all the gifts that you were given. You're going to be shown all the opportunities you have, and then you're going to be shown what you were given as far as spiritual guidance, really, in life. And you're going to judge yourself, your own accomplishments, based on what you were given. And to him who much is given, much is expected. So there could be this homeless junkie on the street who is more spiritually advanced than you or I. Maybe he was just severely abused as a child. So really, I just had a really fortunate upbringing. I was raised Native American peyote church and Baha'i, which showed me opposite sides of the spectrum. And one is very ancient, primal, earthy, worshiping the ground you walk on, everything as a spirit. And one is very modern and progressive, believing in evolution and science and equality between men and women and one world government, world peace, all that stuff. And they're both open-minded to the teachings of other religions. So I realized at a certain point that I have this duty almost to share this upbringing with people, to share my knowledge, because it's different. And it's weird because I'm inside my own head and I get very jaded towards like self-proclaimed gurus because I was raised in kind of like these hippie circles where there's all these people that have this more opinionated, like, I know the answers, like, I've developed these answers myself, and like, I'm gonna tell you what the answers are. Whereas like what I'm intrigued by these Midwestern, like these country folks who are just simple, humble people that go to church and they just listen to whatever their pastor says and go along with it. And they're like, well, I don't know much about that, but I just do what my pastor tells me. There's something about that I really appreciate because they're not so egotistical. I'm jaded about the self-proclaimed gurus. I think that everybody should like find their own answers from within.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I need to remember, shoot, I went on TV and all these people came to me for answers, right? I was like, wow, this is crazy that all these people are thirsty for answers on this stuff. And I would tell people stuff and it would really make an impact on them. And I need to remember, okay, like, I don't understand where they're coming from in their perspective because I am not in their life. I don't know who these people are, And this is some 13-year-old kid that is messaging me on Facebook because he's like, special ed, I have a problem, please help. And I'm like, what is it? He's like, I can't stop masturbating. Whatever I do, I just can't stop touching myself. What should I do? And I'm like cracking up, but then I like give this kid, I'm like, okay, this is like a 13-year-old kid who goes to church and they probably had like a Sunday school class where they talked about how masturbation is a sin. And like, so this kid is now feeling really guilty because he's doing it, And I'm just like, okay, yeah, I need to remember that not everybody like had the same upbringing as me, and that, yeah, maybe I do have I do have some insight that I can help people out with or something, So that's why I'm starting to do some new videos where I'm just talking about what I believe in to the camera.
Yeah. I mean, I try my hardest to get people going within themselves to figure out their own issues so that they become their own master, their own guru, so they counsel themselves to figure out what's going on, what's making them tick, and what's holding them back. Because I also get a lot of emails on Facebook, not like that, not with the children and masturbation, but I get lots of emails which are small, tiny emails, little things, which they could easily figure out themselves. And it's kind of frustrating that I've gotten to where I've gotten to today completely on my own, and yet they're relying on other people 100%, like a bit too much, I think.
Yeah. I feel that way with the entertainment industry. It's kind of like life. Like I have no idea really how to market my career, market myself, or really like. And I really want that manager to come and hold my hand and like guide me through it, you know. So I understand where they're coming from in that regard, that like people just feel lost, you know.
Yeah. I guess yeah, I see what you mean. Definitely. Luckily, I know how to market. I joined a marketing company, which teaches people how to market their business online. And first off, what I started doing was marketing my knowledge on how to market a business online. So I started marketing the fact that I could teach people how to market their business online. And I made money off of that. I didn't make much money off of it. And really what happened was, it was like the universe's way of giving me the skills needed to teach people what it was that I was actually already good at. You know, so I was trying to do something on one side of things, but really I just needed to do the other, which was pretty cool. And I was thinking, when I saw your videos, I saw how little subscribers you got, and I thought you should have loads because of your America's Got Talent thing. You should be blowing up, right, on YouTube. And I thought I could help you out, which I can do.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, because you know, I put a lot of work into some of these videos, and like I'm like, gosh, I don't know why I don't have, you know, one of the things was I didn't start doing a video a week until a month ago. Before that, I would do like a video a month, and I really didn't start doing like decent videos until a year ago. So like up until 6 months after America's Got Talent, I really didn't understand YouTube. Like I would do stuff like I would have videos that weren't good videos, but they were doing well because of my America's Got Talent success. And they'd be getting, you know, they'd be like 200,000 views, 100,000 views, and then I would just change the title of the video. You know, I'd change the title, change the picture, change all these aspects about it, and then it would like drop it, it would like bump it out of the algorithm, right? Because I changed aspects of the video too much because I thought that I was making the video better. But really, like, one thing I realized about YouTube videos is you just have to set it up the way it's going to be when you first upload it, and then just let it go and do its thing. You can't like start changing it once it's going.
No, you can't. Have you tried have you tried cross networking, like social media marketing? Basically, you link up all your. You start a Facebook page, which you've got. You've got a Facebook page. You don't pay for anything, do you? Like paid ads or anything? No.
No.
And you start Twitter accounts.
Yeah, I mean, I always post my videos to my Facebook and Twitter and stuff.
And Google. And you have a skill.
I post it to Reddit.
Yeah. What if you taught your skill? The one where you balance.
I can't teach it over the internet.
No?
It's kind of something that I just like don't. I only teach it to somebody if they're going to be somebody that's going to be like performing with me where I'm at. Like, I'm not going to teach it over the internet. Part of it's because you know, part of it's because it makes me a more unique performer, and then if everybody was doing it, then
yeah,
you know, I would be.
It's like a competition.
I don't know. I guess I could. You know, people have asked me to sell them the information. I just like, I don't know. Other people have advised me, oh, don't tell. I definitely don't want to do it over the internet. You know, I don't know. I don't want to. Also, it's kind of bad. Yeah, it's just not good. It's not good rapport to like to reveal like those secrets over the internet.
I see what you mean. Have you tried? Wow, that's completely gone out of my head now. Collaborations, that's it. Have you tried a YouTube collaboration? This is what I was going to do with you today to help you market. I was going to ask you at the end of the interview if you wouldn't mind me posting some.
Hey, how you doing?
We're having a meeting, you and I and Dave. Hey.
Oh, hi.
It's three of us now.
I'm talking to this guy in London.
Hey. Is it
Hello.
going to help us?
Sure.
What part of London? What part of London in?
Birmingham.
Where?
Birmingham. It's near Oxford.
Okay.
Have you been there?
About 25 times.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I love London.
Really?
My favorite city.
That's great. I haven't been to Arizona yet, though. I should
No?
get over
You been to
there.
Hollywood?
No, I haven't been to
You
America.
heard of it?
I've heard of it. Everyone's heard of it. Yeah, I've heard of it.
It's a myth. It's
Yeah.
just all smoke and mirrors here.
Why don't you come down when you're finished?
Okay.
I'll be watching, whatchamacallit.
Scorpion.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
And just want to chat with you about what's going on and stuff.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So yeah, right now I'm chilling at this house. I was doing a bunch of email work for these guys. It's basically doing some networking for him. I fell in love with this space. It's a really great performance space, great for haunted houses, great for film shoots. I'm making a new music video right now that's about world peace, and it's a really catchy song. And it's basically going to be a one-shot, like where basically I'm walking through all these environments, but it looks like it's just done in one take.
Yeah.
So I filmed here yesterday, and now I'm just doing some work to help him out, try to save this space because he needs to raise a bunch of money to prevent it from being foreclosed on. So I was just reaching out to Hollywood connections I know and seeing who wants to donate or invest in this property, basically.
Yeah. The YouTube collaborations. What you do is it helps market your channel, and you can even market that if you want to help people donate in your local area. What you do is you make a video and then you contact another YouTuber and then you post your videos on each other's YouTube accounts. So that both, say if one person's got a massive following, they will see that video, they'll see you tagged in it, and then they end up jumping over and subscribing to your list. And if you have, that's what I want to do now. That's what I've been marketing like crazy and working loads and contacting people like yourself.
Yeah, let's do that. How many subscribers do you have?
I only have 7,000. It's going up to 8,000 now. But I've only started really hitting it now.
That's more than me.
No, not that much. I'm doing it with somebody else at the moment who's got 61,000, and then there are other people who have got hundreds of thousands that I'm linking up with as well. So mine won't be 7,000 for long. It's going to jump very quickly within the next couple of months. But
okay.
I only wanted to do this, what we're doing here, so that we can post it and do stuff like this. But obviously, if you don't want it to be recorded or anything, then that's fine. We could always make another one if you want.
No, I'm just cautious about if I'm going to talk about America's Got Talent. I'm under this contract where they can sue me for a bunch of money. So I want to phrase things like I can tell you the actual truth, but then like if it's going to be posted anywhere, I need to actually watch my mouth so that I don't actually say anything they can sue me for.
I can always cut some bits out if you want.
Yeah, to cut out anything where I talk about America's Got Talent or
Okay. Because what it is
if you
say it's like if I do a collaboration with somebody who has a couple of 100,000 people, and they come onto my channel and then they see your face, they'll then straight away go all onto your channel. So you would wake up with, say, how many subscribers have you got now?
Oh, like 3,100.
3,100.
3,000.
That will shoot up like in 20,000, 30,000, very fast. Very fast.
Yeah. What about these companies that want to partner with you and take like 25% of your...
Don't listen to them. I've had emails like that, usually partnerships with these companies, and I've looked into it because I've been interested, and then I've heard how they're a scam and they start taking your money and how this ruin your channel. So I don't trust them. I only trust other YouTubers when it comes to that sort of stuff. Other YouTubers would say that too. I'd suggest looking
into it. What about if somebody wants to license out your video and put it on their channel and then give you 50% of what they make?
I guess that's fine. But if it's a company, you'd want to look into it a bit more. I don't really trust companies that don't have a face, if you know what I mean. I'd like to actually talk to people. So I'd probably get their email, phone them up, look at them on Skype so I can actually see their face kind of thing. And then I'll look at testimonials and reviews of other people who've also done the same thing before I even spend any money or even let them partner with me. Because a lot of people out there are good on computers, and a lot of people out there can steal your money, and they are good at suggestion, and they can nick like everything and leave you for broke. So I wouldn't just listen to everyone straight away. I'd look into it like full on, hardcore.
Yeah.
And there is one more thing I wanted to ask you. I read that you're a performer for a circus. How's that?
Oh, well, that's I mean, I've been in a lot. I've done a lot of collaborations with groups. The Emergency Circus is a nonprofit that my friends started that I went on tour with, and the aim of that is to actually go to places that really need cheering up, like children's hospitals, group homes, like foster care centers, even nursing homes, women's shelters, and we do little shows. You know, when we went on tour, there was only 4 of us, and so when he says circus, it's circus arts,
Yeah.
but it's not like aerial acts. It's not like a big circus. And I've done shows where I've done shows like with, like Flam Chan is a pyrotechnic theater company, and they actually live at my compound, and my family's compound in Arizona. I'm in California right now. I'm in Los Angeles, but this other group, like I've performed with a bigger circus in Tucson, but the Emergency Circus, it's like 4 of us, and we go into like hospitals. So really, it's just a guy's juggling, a girl's dancing with hoops. You know, I'm doing my levitation. You know, I say levitation, and people really got on my case because, yes, it's not a true levitation because I hold on to the stick. So yes, it's a yoga balance. I call it a yoga balance, but for all intents and purposes, when I title something, I title it a levitation because that's what it looks like to people. That's what catches people's attention.
Yeah.
It's actually really difficult to fully levitate. Because if you could picture, if you're pushing energy out, down through your root chakra, and you're connecting that energy, you're pushing against the magnetic force of the earth. Well, it really is like 2 magnets, like 2 negative sides of a magnet pushing against each other. You can't balance one magnet on top of another magnet. It'll just fall to the side of that magnet.
Yeah.
That's why I've been experimenting with the Tesla coil to try to balance that. That's why I use a cane to balance, because I can't just balance on energy. I fall. You know, I'll just like fall over, and you see like the closest thing I've seen video recorded to levitation, you know, is what I do, and also yogis do this thing where they hop in lotus position. Like they hop in the air.
Yeah, I've seen that done quite a few times. And I've also seen a guy, he's a monk on YouTube. You can actually see this video. He's called the Supernaturalist. He looks for people who can do this sort of stuff. And he finds this monk in this temple, and then he tells him to sit back, otherwise his energy wouldn't work. And then he basically, he comes straight off the ground, like clean, and he does it smooth as well. He doesn't shake or anything. And I was thinking, okay, how can I get to where he's at? You know, how can I? I'm
skeptical about that video.
Have you seen it?
I've seen it. There's too many camera cuts in the video. If they really wanted to sell it really well and make a skeptic believe in it. Here's the thing. Through my experience, I met a Mongolian man who wanted me to teach him levitation, and I'm actually going to teach this man. He wants to learn what I know. He wants to learn because he wants to make his grandmother proud. Because up until his grandmother passed, or up until he was 20 years old, he witnessed his grandmother levitate many times. And this is up in the mountains in Mongolia in a yurt. Nobody around. And together, through talking to him, we came to the conclusion that the reason why you never see people levitate on camera is because, one, when the film crew comes in there, there's not just a cameraman. There's usually 3 people on a decent camera crew, and all those people and camera equipment and electricity usually disrupts their energy to be able to fully accomplish it. Second thing is that conclusion he came to is that when people leave the mountainous regions that they're in and come to the city, their mental abilities are disrupted by the fact that they're in a city and by the fact that there's all these distractions. So it's my belief that the only places that you'll actually be able to witness like a true levitation is high up in the mountains where there's nobody, very few people around. There's no cars, no technology, basically.
So if I was to teach myself this, because I like to teach myself some weird things. If I was just to take your advice and rather than letting you teach me, if I was just to do it myself, I would have to go somewhere completely where there's no one or no electricity around.
You know, I think that somebody that you would have to go up into the mountains of Tibet and find these monks and, you know, befriend them but you know, it'd be really difficult. All I tell you is watch that video for the Supernaturalist again, and I shouldn't tell you anything more than this. Just watch how many camera cuts there are. Watch and look at how everything that's set up. Just like look at how it's set up.
Yeah.
Like look at how it's set up to where. To me, it looks like somebody decided to create a stage with it. The way that the candles are in a half circle in the front, and then the Tibetan flags are in the back.
Yeah.
Right? It's not done in a full circle. Like my thinking is that if you're creating an energy force, you would want everything to be symmetrical all the way around you.
Okay.
But then the way. Yeah, I was skeptical of it. I'm skeptical when they put something like that on. There's just the whole presentation. You know, it's if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I'm the type of person who doesn't believe in things until I experience it myself. So I will go out of my way to find out how to do things, even if I have to sit here and do it myself for ages. That's what I like about being me, my sort of character.
Uh-huh. You're familiar with Tumo or Tomo?
No.
It's a type of yoga that supposedly can add years to your life, and it's you're basically able to control your blood flow, and able to control your body temperature. There's a type of yoga that
I can do that.
They won't just teach it to Westerners. That if you don't know what you're doing, you can hurt yourself. It's spelled Tumo.
Tumo. I can direct blood round through my body quite easily to the point where I can make my hands go really purple and stuff like that. I'm pretty well adversed when it comes to how I can use my body. So that's how I astral project and do stuff like that and do all this weird stuff. Which is why I've tried levitating before. I get really off balance and I find it very difficult. I do feel myself get light. And there's this one energy thing I did the other day, but every time I do it, I feel like I'm going to pass out. It's like the center of my body goes really light, as if it's transparent, like you can push your hand through it, and then I just get knocked off balance and I fall over. Yeah, I'm very aware with how to move stuff around my body and energy fields, stuff like that. I do it all myself. I haven't learned it off someone else. I reckon if somebody taught me properly, at least how to direct it, then I can actually get to where I need to get to. Until that happens, I'll have to invest money. I'm going to look up Tumo, because that sounds very familiar. Or go and do what you did.
I'm kind of cautious when it comes to astral projecting. My brother actually astral projects. A lot of these intense, meditations and intense. This is Tumo's intensive yoga, or it's actually pronounced Tomo. These are the types of things that if you don't know what you're doing, you can hurt yourself. Which is why if you go and find a Tibetan monk that does this and are like this Westerner, they probably won't teach it to you, because they'll say, okay, how many years have you been doing yoga? 10 years. Well, you need to be doing just yoga for 30 years before you can start doing this. So, it's really intensive stuff. At this point in my life, in my career, I've kind of reached a level that I want to be at, and I want to go to Mongolia and find people that can do these things. But I want to do what the supernaturalist was doing, but I want to do it. I want to do it for real and have it not be like the way that show's displayed. It's displayed like a cable TV show. It's very sensationalist.
Yeah.
Sensationalistic. There's an aspect of that show that doesn't feel real to me. just the way that they portray things.
Yeah.
You know, it's too like Hollywood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I mean, with the astral projection
Like I don't know
thing,
when I watch.
Yeah.
When I watch like a Vice documentary, I'm like, okay, this is real. You know.
Hmm.
Or when I watch a lot of documentaries, I'm like, this is real. But then those like made for TV documentaries, I'm like, okay, it's so flashy and there's so much like computer graphics, special effects. I'm just like, okay, what's real, what's not, you know?
Yeah, that's pretty much all I watch is documentaries. And I barely go on the TV. Most of the time I'm making videos or I'm teaching people, I'm on the computer, or I'm outside. I don't even like watching horror movies or anything like that because they're just too fake. I don't like watching people get caught up in something that's not real because it disturbs the way they feel for starters, which then has an impact on how they behave, which then has an impact on how they act in social interactions, and it's just like it's a mess. But I know what you mean with the energy thing and your body hurting and stuff like that. The lucky thing is with me and astral projection is I've been doing it since I was very small, like a little baby. So my body has been equipped to do it, so I don't feel pain or anything like that anymore. Or I've never had
So
to.
like for me, I guess like the things about being able to lower your body temperature and control your blood flow, like I'm not as interested in that because I'm really concerned with being an entertainer and being able to how can I harness these things to do a really cool looking show for
Yeah.
people, do something that will inspire the kids, you know, maybe make the kids get interested in yoga and meditation, or maybe you know get somebody interested in throat singing, or you know get somebody just interested in you know what I have to say about world peace and spirituality and stuff. But you know, so I'm really interested in how can I make a new act. You know, how can I combine my music and magic? You know, how can I make the next awesome music video? You know, how can I get more subscribers on YouTube? You know.
Cross collabs. You can even do celebrity collabs with other magicians and get them in the act. Have you tried that or anything like that?
Yeah, you know, there's a magician that is wanting to collaborate with me. He's out in Las Vegas. You know, I just get so busy with projects. I'm at the position right now where I don't have to have a day job, so it's pretty cool. I'm taking acting classes right now, and like I have to do shows to make money. But other than that, like you know, I'm doing art, you know, all the time. Right, I'm trying to finish writing this song. It's about world peace.
Yeah, the world needs that. I brought some of your music actually. I did look into it. I like the way you were using. It sounded, you know, the one where you were at that garage place, like where everything was like musical instruments. There was like hundreds of them in your YouTube video.
Oh yeah.
It sounded like you were using that to make your music.
No, I wasn't using that to make my music. No, I do a lot of like like I travel to Africa and I recorded traditional African music, and then so a lot of times I'll sample that traditional African music, but then chop it up and twist it around and make it into a song, a new, you know, completely different song. Like two of my recent songs, I sampled Indonesian gamelan music. So
I reckon one of the fastest, collaborations. I reckon is the easiest and fastest way to spread on YouTube by far, especially if you've got music and funny stuff, entertainment, like you said you do, putting smiles on people's faces. That goes far on YouTube, definitely.
yeah.
Okay.
So like, yeah, I guess these guys want me to go down and meet with them and talk about this house and stuff. But how do you're in the UK? How do you propose collaborating with me?
Videos like this. If I have your permission, I can cut some of the stuff out that you don't want me to say, and all I have to do is post this on my channel because I'm here and they know it's working, and then they'll see your face. And then I can put like I often make like cinematic movie stuff, so I can do one where I'm coming in and I find you on Skype and then we chat, and I can direct my audience through this video onto your channel if you like. So
Okay, yeah, no, that'd be great.
yeah, I want to get into it more, the cinematic stuff. I'm gonna travel at some point to people who I'm doing collaborations with so that I can get them in my movies rather than Skype.
Uh-huh.
There are some people in London that have asked for this, so I'm gonna check them out. And if when I start getting more and more money, I'll just end up traveling around the globe.
Yeah, totally. United States is awesome. The weather's so nice here right now.
Yeah, I keep getting told that because most of my
I mean, I've been through London before, just like going. I've done a show in Qatar, in the Middle East, and I've done a show in Germany, and I've flown in through London before. I just don't really know anybody in London.
the weather's
Yeah, I
terrible.
think I had somebody want to book me in London before too, but they didn't want to pay me enough money. It's just like I don't want to fly out to I don't want to fly overseas if I'm not making more than $2,000. Like to get just like if they're hiring me to do a show, I just I got to make money off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you mean. Definitely. Okay, dude.
But anyways, I got to go to these guys, and I really appreciate you contacting me.
Thanks. I love this chat. I'm gonna cut it up and get rid of some stuff that you don't want said, and then I'll post it onto my channel at some point. I'm gonna make a lot more movies and a lot more videos within the next month,
Okay.
and then I'll let you know when it's up. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
All
See
right.
ya.
All right. Bye.